Hello, my name's Mike Mondo from Classic 105. Mike and Cess, Tuesday to Fridays, and of course Mike and Kingangi every Monday. This is Get to Know Your Presenter.
Hello, my name is Tracy, and today we're going to learn a little bit more about your presenter, Mike Mundo. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Tracy.
How are you today?
Salama kabisa.
So, in this life of sin, you must have started somewhere. So, we would like to know, where was Mike born? Which school did he go to, and what was his childhood like?
I was born in Mombasa. In 1981, July the 30th. Don't forget my birthday. And I lived in Mombasa also most of my life. Went to primary school at, started off first of all kindergarten, at Mombasa Academy. And then after there, I went to Loreto Convent, Mombasa, where I did from class 1 all the way until class 8, did my KCPE. After KCPE, I went to Alidina Visram High School in Mombasa, still did my 4 years, finished my KCSE, and then at that point is when I moved to Nairobi.
Wow, that's quite a process. So which uni did you go to?
I went to the Kenya Medical Training College. I studied nursing there for 3.5 years. Also graduated. Funny enough, I graduated nursing, then I went back now to Mombasa, to Kilifi, where I started working at Kilifi District Hospital as a nurse under an NGO called the Kenya Association for Prevention of TB and Lung Diseases. Yeah.
So how was it during that period?
Of working?
Yes.
Hey, it was crazy. Mombasa, I mean, the coastal strip in Kenya is a very interesting place. I mean, because we were working a lot with, in these really remote areas. So what I used to be was something called a DOTS representative. We were collecting data for people who had TB. And so this data would now inform how much medication needed to be taken to the hospital. So I used to travel a lot into these remote areas, trying to find out if people are keeping up with their TB medication, things like those who have defaulted, trying to trace them so that we can get them and get them back on treatment. It was an interesting job, but I was on the ground a lot. Yeah.
Okay, and right after your medical practice, what did you do next? Did you jump into journalism? Did you jump into media, or did you do something before?
No, not really. What happened was I quit my job after a year. After that 1 year, I moved to Nairobi to see if I can find a better job, because it wasn't paying well. I mean, I was earning, I think, 18,000 Kenya shillings a month. I felt that was too little, so I opted to, not work there. Let me look for a job, in a private hospital. And so I came to Nairobi, and I used to do a lot of rounds, going to Nairobi Hospital, to MP Shah, to Aga Khan, trying to get a job. And then radio stumbled upon me, as I like saying. So what happened was, I went one day during my tamacking, I went to have some lunch. And while I was having lunch, there was this huge line of people. It was at a place called Al Fajiri, along Dennis Pitt Road. And as I had lunch, I was curious. I simply just asked one of the people, what's happening? I assumed, labda hapa kuna kazi, ama kuna pesa ya mheshimiwa inapeanwa or something. So I just asked, they said they're auditioning for radio presenters. And I was like, yeah, how much do they make? And everyone was throwing around different numbers. And I was thinking, okay, all I have to do is talk on radio. So I took my phone. I had one of those phones that had a radio, put in my headphones, and then I started listening to radio as I was on the line. And we went. My turn came up, and I was asked to, just pretend I'm introducing a show or introducing a song. And in fact, I used Tupac's Dear Mama. I was like, this is Tupac, Dear Mama, on Hot 96. Still right here for Mike Mondo. I'm going to be with you all the way till 7 p.m. and more also coming. I just rambled out a few things. And when I said that, the person interviewing me was quite surprised, and they were like, "Hey, bruh, have you ever done radio before?" I'm like, "No, I've never done it." "Have you ever tried to do radio voiceovers?" "Nope, never done it." So they called me. They told me they'll call me back. I didn't think much of it. I just went ahead about my business. 2 weeks later, they called me and said they wanted to do a voice test. I came again. I went to their studios. They gave me a script to read. I read the script. They thought it was impressive. And then literally like a few days later after that, they just came through and told me, "Hey, Mike, we'd like to give you a job. We'd like to offer you 50,000 Kenyan shillings." Please note I was earning 18 before. So to 50, I was like, whoa, yes, that's what's up. And that's how my radio career began. It began at Hot 96 FM. Yeah.
Awesome, that's quite the journey. Then you moved to Radio Africa. You moved from Hot 96 to Radio Africa.
Yeah.
Now walk us through your journey in Radio Africa.
Moving to actual Radio Africa, I think I was moving to XFM. Moving there was courtesy of Pete Sinclair. He was my former PC, and he had called me and told me he'd like for us to discuss maybe possibly joining the station, and we talked. We did a few audio recordings, a few demos, and he thought he liked what he heard. So I joined XFM. I was doing the show right after Nick and Deda. Nick used to do the drive, then I'd do the evening show. And when I did it initially, it was quite strange. Please note, Hot 96, I was playing a lot of, hip hop, mainstream music. At XFM, this was rock music. The audience was different. It was scary at first. But I did it anyway. Did it for 3 years. In fact, I've had a 3-year cycle, because at Hot 96, I was there for 3 years. Then XFM, I was there now another 3 years, which was, I think, one of the best times I ever spent on radio, because it was fun. It was a station that allowed you to just do whatever it is that you wanted, and that's one station I truly miss to this day.
Oh, well, it's not all lost. We have another baby. So you moved from X to Classic
to
105.
Classic. Yeah.
So how was the transition? Remember, you were doing a rock station, and now you're gonna do like an old school kind of station.
It was a very interesting story. There was one time I came to work just as usual, and then when I came to work, my boss told me, when I entered the XFM studio, he came to studio, rushed, and told me, "Hey, Mike, wrong studio. You need to get into the Classic 105 studio." And I'm like, "Why?" So apparently, the drive presenter at the time, Larry Asego, had done the breakfast show. He was covering for Maina. And there was no one to cover the drive. So they told me, "No, you don't do that show, you do this other show." And I walked in, it was daunting. Because you can imagine, this is Classic 105. This is a whole country listening to you. I was nervous. I did not know the show. I did not know the audience. But I decided, you know what, get on the air, keep it simple, and just, continue doing it. So I did it. For the first, I covered the drive on Classic, Larry Asego's show, for about, I think it was 2 weeks, if I'm not wrong. After 2 weeks, I understood the hang of it. Next time I come, I thought when Larry got back to his show, I thought I was going to, continue with XFM. They told me, "No, we're impressed with what you did those 2 weeks. So what you're going to do is, after Larry's show, you'll do the evening show." And Classic 105 happened. And it happened that now I used to do the evening show, and every time Larry had to cover breakfast, I would cover the drive show. And that's how I joined in. So far, so good. It's the station I've been at for the longest of all other stations I've worked for.
Great. And sometimes listeners, there are listeners who confuse your voice and Maina's. Sometimes you do the morning show. So how is it sometimes, like doing the morning show when Maina is not around? Are those shoes too big to fill? You see, that's the thing though. But I'm not trying to fill in Maina's shoes. I like making it clear to people. I understand the similarities in how we present and how we host shows. It's not that we have the same voice or we have the same kind of, we are very different. The thing is, our nuances are very similar. The way we are sort of that same generational gap group where we used to say things
like kiao, like that, like that's something we would say normally, like kama kwa mtaa tu, si ndio? But I'm not necessarily trying to fill his shoes. I'm trying to chart my own path. Maina, my opinion, one of the greatest that ever did it, and is still doing it to this day. But I'm not trying to be him. I'm trying to be my own brand, Mike Mondo. So hopefully, if that time comes when it's fully Mike and Kageni, well then, I guess we can see which direction that goes.
Yeah, we'll cross the bridge when we get there.
Yes.
Awesome. So your co-host is Ses.
Yes.
So have you worked with any other co-host before Ses?
Yes. I've worked with Terry Muikamba before on Classic 105. I think it was at Hot 96. I had quite a number. I've worked with at Hot 96. I worked with Coco Sobo, Chris Okinda. Worked with so many other co-hosts, but the ones that are most recent is Terry Muikamba and now Ses.
Oh, great. So walk us through the classic drive, the one that you run every day.
Yes.
How is it? Like, you have a co-host. What's the process of you, like, prepping so that you give your audiences that really dope show?
Okay. It's very simple. Prep comes from life, the everyday life, the small things that you do, the small interactions you have, the people you meet and laugh with. You get a lot of ideas from them. With the drive show, mainly on Classic 105, is not meant to be a serious show. What we are recognizing is that people have left work. Of course, you're tired. Your brain doesn't necessarily want to think about serious matters. You just want to be entertained. Hopefully, you can get a smile out of your face. So what Ses and I try and do is try and make it fun, witty, and enjoyable to listen to. That show that you could be seated in a matatu, or you could still be in the office, but you want to just get something to distract you and make you feel, it's not so bad anyway. So we take these little stories from all across the country and we try to put them into a funny way, or try and make them relatable to what in terms of our lives and the things that we experience and see every day. So that's basically the premise of it. But the main idea is to make you feel relaxed, make you feel like akia watu wawili ni wajinga kabisa. But that's the idea. Yeah.
All right. Well, you've been challenged to work on XFM and now Classic. Which other Radio Africa radio station would you feel like you'd like to challenge yourself and see if you can hack? I think I'm at I think I'm at the best. But my Swahili is very good. I could try Radio Jambo. Oh.
Yeah, I could try. My Swahili changu kizuri sana.
Usinione Masawe around for how many?
Masawe Kiswahili chake ni cha juu. Yake ni ya Tanzania huko. Mimi yangu ni hapa Mombasa lakini nitaweza.
All right. So does any of your family members listen to your show, and what feedback do they give you? Not family only, even friends out there. I've got a my mom doesn't listen to my show, but the few times she listens, she makes a point of letting the world know that that's her boy. My brothers do. In fact, my big brother, big shout out to him, Eric. Eric listens. I've got a few friends who do so on their commutes to work. What they say is they keep telling me, Mike, do you know you have to keep doing it. Like, just keep doing it and keep doing it, because we want you to be at the top of that game. Like right now, we've got greats in radio who exist. So one of my friends once told me, we want to remember you next to the radio greats like Caroline Mutoko, like Edward Kwach when he used to be at Radio Africa, Maina Kageni, all of these big names. They say that we want your name to be alongside them. And what are your best times on air or during your show?
During the show, on Breakfast or Drive?
Either.
I love doing the show with Kageni. Kageni just makes me laugh every single day. He's genuinely a funny guy.
Yeah.
Also with Ses, the show is I love doing it with her because she makes it a bit, she always gives it another angle. Like whenever you thought you have a punchline for anything that you're going to talk about, she will always give you another angle that makes you go like, oh wow, I didn't think of it like that. So both ways they have, but I love, with Kageni I love it because there's nothing as beautiful as laughing in the morning. It's amazing, just sets the tone for your whole day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how do you handle your bad days? Of course, everyone has bad days, and a lot is required of you to be, sane when you're presenting you're doing your show. So how do you handle like your bad days?
The rule is very simple. Leave all your issues outside the door. Before you enter that studio, if you're going through a bad day, if you're going through whatever it is, like just leave it outside the door. Once you enter there, forget about it. Don't address it. I've had situations where I've literally we've broken up with someone I'm seeing. And like literally, she dumped me like at midday. And I had to do the show in 3 hours. And I couldn't understand it, but you leave it. The moment you turn on that microphone, all of that disappears. You switch off your phone, you just relax and execute the show.
Great. So we know you from your work, but we would also like to know your other side of life,
Yes.
family. So how is fatherhood and how are you taking it so far?
It's expensive. It's expensive. I've got 2 daughters. I've got a 6-year-old. She's turning 7 in November, and I've got a 5-month-old. So the 5-month-old is eating me up diaper-wise. The 6-year-old is eating me up fees. But I mean, I love them both. Fatherhood is amazing. It's one of the best things you can ever do. It keeps you grounded. I love that fact. I used to be a party maniac. Nowadays, I've tended to just chill kidogo, because you're always asking yourself, so am I going to go blow 30,000 in a club, or am I going to go and buy my daughter new clothes? So you figure, let me just stay home. So it's really grounded me. So I love fatherhood, and I encourage any guy to get there. Even you, if you're not there, by the way, karibu sana. You're welcome.
All right. Any plans for our wedding?
Ay. Tracy, you have to go there. Yeah?
We want to know.
We'll see.
We will see.
We will see. Hopefully, wajua hiyo ni mambo ya Mungu. Tutaona. Yeah.
We'll take that. And anything you'd like people to know about Mike out there, career-wise, love life-wise, what would you like us to know about Mike?
I'm not the chauvinist people think I am. Okay. Yeah. People tend to think like Mike is so classy, or he can tend to be a bit of a mshamba or something. Actually, I'm not. I just love the idea of letting people make assumptions about me. I try to be as kind as I can to everyone I meet. I try my best not to do wrong by other people. My rule is usually one simple one. If I can dish it, I should be able to retake it. So if I do right by you, do right. I also expect that of you. So that's basic. I'm a very simple person. I don't like complicating my life. I like enjoying my fun times, but at the same time, I appreciate some nice quality time. Even with the person I date, I love those simple things as opposed to grandiose things. I'm not big when it comes to social media. I find it like, people have so much that's going on in their lives. I'm like, no. Let me focus on my life and what I feel like sharing with the world, then I'll share it. What I don't feel like, it's not a must. I don't like documenting my life to the public so much, so I keep things chini ya maji. But I'm not, most importantly, I'm not the chauvinist people think I am.
Do you have a 5-year plan?
5-year plan? Yes.
Would you like to share?
That's my plan. But I will tell you this. The one thing that I have always wanted, at least in my 5-year plan, that I think I really wanted so badly, is to have my own breakfast show. I've never had mine own, that's mine. I've done mid-morning shows, I've done drive shows, I've done late night shows. I've never had my own breakfast, and maybe one day it will come to fruition, but hopefully we'll see if that happens.
May God keep us alive.
Amen.
See that day.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Yes.
For sparing your time. We appreciate it.
So,
Thank you very much.
thank you.